Hey guys, it's Leslie Fightmaster with Fightmaster Yoga, and welcome to class today. We've got a 30-minute total body workout with a lot of heart opening and shoulder stretching. We'll do some back bends, so by the end you'll feel really probably happy and open. Get a couple of blocks and a strap if you have them. If you like to pad up your knees, grab a blanket or some sort of a towel, and let's unroll our mats and we'll do it. Hey everybody, welcome to your mat today, and I am Leslie Fightmaster from Fightmaster Yoga. Today's class we're going to open the upper back a little bit, as I mentioned, and we're just going to start sitting. So start to sit up nice and tall. Take a few long, smooth breaths in and out through your nose. Start to widen across your collarbones, maybe sit up a little bit taller if you can. And then take your hands together in front of the heart and take a moment to set an intention for your practice. And then we're going to start lying on our backs on top of blocks, or I have bricks today, which I really enjoy. So I'm going to set one of them at the medium height and the other one I'll start at the highest height. One of the neat things about these is you can kind of put them on an angle, and if you can get it in a good angle, you can sort of have it between a medium and a high height, which is nice. Or just make sure that one at your back is right about where your bra strap would go across if you happen to be a lady. If you happen to be a man, it's where a lady's bra strap goes go across. And then the other one, you could start up at the highest level and then move it down if you want a little bigger opening in the upper back. Soles of feet together, knees apart, unless that bothers your inner thighs a bit too much. And then try to allow everything to just sink right into those blocks. And inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, palms facing each other. Exhale, bend your elbows, hold your opposite elbows or your opposite wrists, and allow the arms to just hang down toward the floor. If that's too intense, just bring the arms back down by your sides, or you can keep them extended in line with the ears. Just take another breath here. Again, relax the shoulders and the jaw. Releasing any tension, and then extend the arms again. Inhale, change the cross so the other forearm is on top. Grab the opposite elbows or wrists and allow the arms to just hang down. As the arms are hanging down, again, we're getting a little bigger opening in the upper back. So if that seems to be too much, you can always release the arms by your sides again. And then we'll release that. Bring the knees together. Press your hands next to the top of your hips and bring yourself up to seated. And then, if you've got those blocks there, move them off to this side. And we'll make our way onto hands and knees, wrists under shoulders, and knees under hips. On an inhale, bring your chest forward, lift the chin and tailbone up. On the exhale, round the back, draw the ribs and belly in and up, chin toward chest. And again, inhale, widen across the collarbones, lift the chin and tailbone up. And then exhale, lift the rib cage in and up, press away from the floor as you pull the belly in, rounding the back. Inhale again, just warming up the spine, lifting chin, lifting tailbone. Exhale, rounding the back and pressing away from the floor. And then inhale, bring your hands just in front of your shoulders, about a handprint in front, and step your right foot up by your right hand for a low lunge. Pad up your left knee if you need any padding there. The right knee is over the ankle, sinking forward, but then pulling that right hip back. So you can kind of traction that front heel toward the back knee. And then reach both arms up. Inhale for your low lunge. Continue to pull your right hip back. Send your left hip forward. Then exhale, start to bend the elbows, opening the chest. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Then face the palms to the front. Exhale, bend the elbows, open the chest. Again, inhale, reaching up tall. Exhale, bend the elbows, open up through the chest. Then bring the hands down to the mat. step to plank pose, top of a push-up. Slowly lower to the floor. You can always have knees come down first, and then bring your hands by your low ribs. Inhale, peel the chest up for cobra. Press all the toenails into the floor, inner thighs spin up toward the ceiling. Then exhale, press up onto the knees. And now step the left foot forward by the left hand. So first, just starting with this low lunge. Now, if it's hard to reach the floor, feel free to put your hands on your blocks, or if you don't have them, rest your hands on your leg instead of fingertips on the floor. But continue to pull the left hip back, send your right hip forward, drawing in through the lower belly. As you breathe here, widen the chest. And then we'll bring it up. So pulling the left hip back again, lift the hip bones toward the lower ribs, add the arms stretching up tall, then face the palms to the front. Exhale, bend the elbows, open the chest. Inhale, reach up tall, face the palms forward. Exhale, and bending the elbows. Again, inhale, arms reach tall. Exhale, and open the chest. Just bring the hands to the mat, and then step again to plank pose. Pausing just for a moment, the knees up or down, lower again to the floor. This time we'll come onto our forearms and line up your elbows right under your shoulders. Bring your shoulders up around the ears, then draw them back and down. Start to pull a little bit with your elbows toward your heels. Tailbone reaches toward the heels and lift the belly. Collarbones widen. Take a breath here. Nice chest opening, nice heart opening. And then lower down, hands by low ribs. Press into upward dog or into cobra. And then exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, and stretch all the way to downward facing dog. And try to get some nice length in your down dog, bending one knee and the other to start to bicycle the legs. So if we had a goal in down dog, which we don't really necessarily have goals in yoga, but a goal would be to stretch out the spine. So lengthen your down dog, maybe a little bit further than you normally do. See how that feels. Spread the fingers wide, press into the base of your fingers as your forearms lift, and then gaze between the knees or the feet. So this is breathing is all important in your yoga practice, so always check in. See if your inhales and your exhales are about equal. Then look forward and step or float your feet to the front of the mat. Take an inhale, come halfway up, lengthen. As you exhale, fold forward, bend the knees if you need to. Then press down through the feet, rise up on your inhale, look up. And then exhale, bring the hands down. And we'll set up at the front of the mat in Tadasana, mountain pose. So pressing evenly through the feet, feet together or a little bit apart, maybe hip socket distance apart. And then lift the chest again, let the shoulder blades draw down gently toward the waist as the hip bones lift toward the rib cage. Inhale, sweep the arms out, around and up, keep the ribs in. Exhale, hinge forward from your hips into Uttanasana. Inhale, come halfway up, fingertips on the floor or hands on shins. Exhale, step back just with your right foot. Keep your left heel down and come into low lunge. This time interlacing the fingers. Point the fingers up, the index fingers, and lean back a little tiny back bend. Then bring the hands down, come to plank. And exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, or stick with cobra. Always feel free to modify. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg and step it forward. Exhale the left knee to the floor. Inhale for your low lunge again. Interlace the fingers, other interlace if you remember. So it's a little back bend, but try to keep the front ribs drawing in and keep length in the back body. Exhale, swing the hands back down to the mat. Now step back again to plank. Pausing in plank, feet together, roll to the right side for Vasisthasana, side plank. Try to bring your left hip a little forward. Take your right knee down for more support if you like. And then try and stack that top hip above the bottom hip. Make your way back into plank pose. And then chaturanga, knees up or down, inhaling up dog. Outer ankles pressing in, exhaling to downward facing dog. And again, inhale, make your way forward into plank. Keep the belly lifted, feet together. We'll roll to the left side and reach up through the right arm. So feel free to take the left knee down for more support. Or stack the feet on top of each other. Try to bring the top hip slightly forward. Look up if that's okay on your neck. And then come back into plank. Chaturanga as you exhale. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhale, lift the hips, stretch back, downward facing dog. Spread out the fingers, again pressing into the base of your fingers as your forearms lift away from the mat, moving the weight up to the hips and then stretching it down toward your heels. Breathing here. Take another round of breath, look up, bend the knees, either step or hop your feet up. Then inhale, lengthen forward, exhale, and fold in. On the inhale, press through the feet, reach all the way up, look up and lengthen. And then exhale, bring the hands to the heart, Samastitihi, and release the hands down. Turn to the long side of your mat. Turn your right leg all the way out and your back toes in a little. Inhale your arms up as you exhale. Warrior two, bend the right knee over the ankle. Press the knee in line with the middle toes. And then reaching right arm up, bend the elbow, left hand behind the back. Interlace your fingers if you can or hold on to your clothes. But widen across your collarbones. Roll your left shoulder back and spin your right tricep in towards your face. Keep the belly lifting away from the hips. Drop the front hip down and lift the back inner thigh. So we'll stretch out the shoulders as we stretch out the hips. Keep the arms as they are. Take the feet to parallel now. Toes will point in a little. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale and fold. So again, see if you can take that left shoulder head and roll it forward to keep your collarbones nice and wide. Try and squeeze between the inner thighs like you're holding a giant beach ball between the legs. Inhale, come on up. And I'll turn the left leg out and release the arms. Take the arms out to a T for a moment, and then left arm will come straight up. And then you'll bend your left elbow and take your right arm behind you for the clasp, or hold on again to your clothes. Make sure that left knee is over the ankle, points directly over the middle toes. So usually you need to press the knee toward the little toe side of the foot slightly. Usually our gaze is forward over the front fingertips with the arms out to a T in this posture, but because we have the arms in this Gomukhasana variation, then we'll gaze slightly forward, straight in front of us toward the long side of the mat instead of forward over the front knee. Keep the arms as they are, straighten the left leg, take the feet to parallel, toes in a little. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, hinge from the hip creases to fold. So you're trying to get as much length through the spine as you can without rounding the back. Now try and lift your right shoulder away from the floor so it has a tendency to round in. So roll it open. Give your chest some nice expansion. So right where those blocks were in the beginning of class, we try to move the shoulder blades there. Come on up, inhale. Release the hands, either step or hop your feet together and make your way back to the front of your mat. Find your Tadasana again. And inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale and hinge forward into Uttanasana. Take an inhale, look up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step into plank. Chaturanga, knees up or down. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips for downward facing dog. Keep the gaze between the knees, stretch back. Keep the ribs pulling in. Lift the right leg up on your inhale. Nice level hips. Exhale, step it up. And again, the left knee to the floor for a low lunge once again. This time, left hand down and turn. Lift the right arm up. You can put your left hand on a block if you like. As you inhale, create length. As you exhale, either stay or bend the left knee and reach for your foot, or if you've got a strap handy, you can wrap that strap around the foot and draw it forward. Keep the right knee over the ankle and right in line with the middle toe. So you should feel a big stretch in the front of the thigh of the back leg. And please feel free to pad up that left knee with a blanket or fold your mat on its side to give it some padding. So let's release that. And make your way to plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhaling, upward dog, roll the shoulder heads back, and exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Now lift your left leg up, inhale. Exhale, step it by the left hand, right knee to the floor. Pull the left hip back. Keep the right hand down on the floor or on a block. Then inhale, lift the left arm up and twist. Now, as best you can, keep your hips level so your left hip will pull back. The right hip will roll forward as you're making your twist. Widen across the collarbones. And then inhale, bending the right knee, reaching for that foot with your hand or using the block. And then draw the foot forward any amount. Maybe it just doesn't work for you because it's too intense. That's fine too. You can just leave the leg alone and focus on the twist and the lunge. Pad up that right knee if it needs any padding. You don't need to be in any pain on the kneecap. I have a very thick mat, by the way. So let's unwind. And then tuck the back toes under, come into plank pose. And then back to the Vasisthasana side plank, lift the left arm up. Remember that bottom knee can always come down, and also option lift the top leg, step it back for wild thing. So it's a back bend, widen across the collarbones, reach that left arm forward, stretching the body. Inhale to plank, either hold it or lower chaturanga. Inhaling up dog and exhaling back into downward facing dog. On the inhale, we'll come back into plank pose. Step the feet together, roll to the left side, reach the right arm up. Remember, left knee can come to the floor. Right arm up, and option, step that top leg back, reach through the right arm toward the front of the mat, stretch out the front of the body, pull the belly in to protect your lower back, and stretch. Come back to side plank and then regular plank. And right into down dog or exhale through chaturanga. Inhaling into upward facing dog and exhaling back into downward facing dog. Stretch back. And lots of length in your spine. Now feel free to also take the knees down, take a child's pose and rest. That's what I'm going to come down to my knees and grab a block. So if you've got one, grab a block. I'm going to take dolphin pose with the thumbs at the bottom of the block and the fingers on the side. Keep the elbows right in line with the shoulders as you press into dolphin, just like down dog, except you've got your forearms down. Press more weight into the thumb and first finger side of your hands, the inner wrists and the inner forearms in this posture. Keep lifting the shoulders up away from the floor. Step back about a foot, ripple the spine forward for dolphin plank. So again, bring the belly in, your hips and shoulders about in the same line. Elbows no wider than the shoulders. And then walk the feet in again, lift back into regular dolphin. Breathing here. And then take the knees down for child's pose rest. And take just a couple rounds of long breaths in and out through the nose if that's available, with a slight constriction in the back of the throat. We'll move that block off to the side, extend the arms forward, tuck the toes, downward facing dog again, all the way back, stretch back. Gaze between the knees or the feet. And then look up, either step or hop your feet up. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, fold forward, hips over the heels. Press down through your feet, rise up, inhale, look up, lengthen. And then exhale, bring the hands down to Samasthiti. A little balancing. Start to ground down through the left leg. Bend your right knee a little, pick up your right foot, take it from the pinky toe side, and then inhale, left arm up for Royal Dancer. As you exhale, you'll start to press that right foot back. As you press it back, drop your outer right hip down, reaching the left arm forward as you go. Keep the belly lifted, your back inner thighs lifting up toward the ceiling. And breathing. Now we're going to keep that leg off the floor, but start to come back to center. And then wobble, wobble, extend the right leg forward and hold. Drop the outer right hip down. Keep the hips above, the shoulders above the hips. Take one more breath and release it. Do Do the other side. So grounding through the right leg, we'll pick up the left leg from the little toe side of the foot, reach the right arm up, stretch nice and tall, inhale, exhale, start to kick that left foot back and then drop the outer left hip. So roll it down toward the floor so hips are level. Reach forward through the right arm. Breathe, always breathing, keep a nice steady gazing points. Inhale slowly back to center. So we're going to keep the foot off the floor, knee bent, and then extend it forward. Wobble, wobble as needed. Drop the outer left hip, stretch through the arms. Take a breath here. Belly muscles will help, and release it. And back to Samastitihi, Tadasana. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, look up, lengthen the spine, and exhale, step or float back. If you're going to float back, land with bent elbows in Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And breathing, look up, either step or hop through and sit, and make your way onto your back. So hopefully we got a nice warm up in the shoulders and hip flexors for some back bends. Press into the heels and lift into bridge. Make sure the outer edges of the feet are parallel and spiral the thighs in toward one another. Keep the chin away from the chest. You can interlace your fingers if you like. And think about this as opening the whole front of the body. Take another breath and then come on down. You are welcome to stay with bridge poses. We're going to do 2 more rounds. Or hands up by the ears for wheel. So hands up by the ears, elbows point straight up. Pause at the crown of the head, line up your wrists and elbows, then press up. Make sure your feet are parallel. Feet always have a tendency to turn out in this one. Spiral the thighs in toward each other, still as if you're holding a block. Breathe, keep the belly lifted to come down, chin into chest first. Lower yourself slowly onto your back. And then rest a moment. Let's take the soles of the feet together, knees apart. Your hands just resting on your belly. Breathe into your hands, just feeling that extra little boost of energy from the back bends. So I'll do one more, another bridge or another wheel, or you can grab that block if you have it, put it at the base of the spine for supported bridge. So if we're going all the way up, remember again, pause at the crown of the head first, line up your wrists and your elbows, make sure your elbows are parallel, they're going to want to splay out, and then press up. Toes in a little bit, and stretch out the front of the body, reach the tailbone towards the backs of the knees, press the chest toward the mat, the end of the mat that you can see with your eyes. And then to come down again, chin in and lower. And this time, let's hug the knees in. Apanasana. Gently rock a little here, side to side. Make little circles on your low back. Give it a little massage. Then rolling back and forth, 2 or 3 rocks, and come all the way up to seated. And rolling forward. Make your way to plank. Exhale through Chaturanga. Then inhale to upward facing dog. And then exhale, tuck the toes for downward facing dog. Inhale, lifting the right leg. As you exhale, we're going to bring it through for pigeon, Ekapada Raja Kapotasana or Ekapada Kapotasana. Pigeon. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. We want the hips to be level. Now, if this bothers your knee at all, then sit up, roll onto your right hip, swing your left leg around, come onto your back for thread the needle. You can let your head rest down and stay there. If your knee is fine with it, then relax into it as much as you can. Try to release any tension. Check for tension, especially around your jaw and your shoulders, and of course in that right hip especially. It could be both, but check that right hip. If you find any tension, just breathe right into it. Allow your body to relax. Continue with your nice, steady breathing. Every exhale may be sinking in a little deeper. And then coming up, I'm going to roll right onto the right hip, swing the left leg around, and bring it on the outside of the right leg, or extend the right leg forward with that left foot inside or outside. We're going to take a twist. Bring the left hand behind you, right arm up, inhale. Exhale, if possible, you'll hook your right elbow to the outside of your leg. And then as your left leg. And you might even roll it underneath and then take your left hand behind you and clasp. But that's a little deeper, so do what's best for you. Every inhale, sit up nice and tall, lengthen. Every exhale, roll the left shoulder open and twist in a little deeper, keeping the hips level. Never, ever, ever matters how deeply you get into a stretch. It's just that so you feel a stretch. That's all that matters. When you start to feel it, you know the good blood is moving in and any toxins and bad stuff's moving out. Bring your head to center and unwind. Step or float back through chaturanga. Inhale, press into up dog. And exhale, tuck the toes back into down dog. Lift the left leg back and up, inhale. Exhale, bring it through for pigeon. Nice hip opener. Take a lengthening inhale and then forearms are all the way down on the exhale. So you should not feel pain in the knee. If you do, roll onto your back instead. Take the left ankle just past the right knee for a different hip stretch. Still a hip opener, just a different kind. This one used to bother my knee, so I didn't take it for a long time until my hips started to stretch open a little bit more. And I mostly practiced that Gomukhasana hip opener, the knee on top of knee when you're sitting up. That one worked okay for my knees. All the other hip openers were bothering my knees. We don't want to bother our knees. So if you feel any discomfort, don't mess around. Take another hip opening posture instead. I will let everything relax as you're in your pigeon. You can sink in a little bit deeper with every exhale. Slowly walk yourself up and roll onto that left hip, swinging the right leg around. So you can take it to the outside of the left leg, or you can straighten out the left leg, or take the right foot to the inside of the left leg. And take your right hand behind you, left arm up, inhale, and exhale, take it across to twist. As you inhale, sit up nice and tall, and as you exhale, now roll your right shoulder back. You can also bring your left arm underneath the right leg and clasp the left hand behind your back. You can hold on to your hand, or you can even just hold on to your clothes. Every inhale, get some length, and as you exhale, maybe twist deeper. Inhale, head to center. Exhale, unwind. And then extend the legs in front. Inhale, arms reaching up. Exhale, hinge from the hips, come forward. Inhale to lengthen, and exhale to extend. Keep the spine nice and long. So we're going to try to avoid rounding the back. If it's hard to reach the feet, use a strap. We want to get nice and long through the spine. No rounding. And head up, inhale, and we'll release. Coming onto your back, we'll set up for Shavasana. Make sure that your tailbone is lengthening. And then extend the legs out. Allow your feet to flop open. Arms are by your sides, the palms facing up. Let everything just sink right into the floor. Quiet mind, quiet body, Shavasana. And while you're resting here, I have our quote for our class from the beautiful Maya Angelou. If you are always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be. If you're always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be. Start to take some nice, long, smooth breaths. Little longer ones. Moving the hands and the feet, and then stretch out through the arms and the legs. Nice long, good morning type stretch. Then arms by your sides, bend the knees, rolling off to your right, pausing a moment for gratitude for all of our blessings, so many. And then make your way up to seated. Let's bring our hands together. Oop, bless me, had to do a little sneeze. Hands together. Let's bring the hands to the forehead to remind us to have clear and loving thoughts. And our hands to the heart, reminding us to have clear and loving intentions. And our hands to the mouth to remind us to have clear and loving communications. Thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you for taking care of your body and your mind and your spirit. Namaste. Let's send out wonderful energy to all beings everywhere. Thank you so much again. And thanks for the likes, by the way. If you want to do it again, I would love it because apparently more likes are really helpful. So hit that like button if you like it, share with your friends, leave us a comment, and I will respond to the comments for the first couple of days of the video. So I love your comments. If you can afford to support us via a donation of any amount, there's a link below, or go to fightmasteryoga.com. There's also a button there, and join our mailing list while you're there. And have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.